Hey, Ray.
Hello, Sonia. Hey, guys.
No, Ray.
Okay, I know. No funny business. Okay, so I'll get on with it. All right, so Kids on the Slope. That's what we're looking at this week. Now, the setting? Summer, 1966. Kaoru moves house yet again, this time to a seaside town in Kyushu. For him, it's been this way his whole life, a frustrating, never-ending cycle of just trying to adjust. His life is about to change though, as he makes new friendships who introduce him to the world of jazz. Just as the music genre is renowned for, be prepared for a syncopated journey across the lives of our trio as they venture into the world and beyond their hometown and youth. So this anime is the type that can kind of catch its viewers off guard because we're not entering a fantastical realm or world here. Instead, it's more pedestrian. It's a slice of life drama, but it plays out as well as any great live action TV show.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's more light-hearted than most of the animes I generally watch, certainly.
Oh,
but
right.
That said, I think it's reaching for a more sophisticated audience. And the dealing with the dilemmas of high school life, that's done in a very relatable fashion.
Yes, I thought so too. The relationships are they're eloquently explored, and I think they do this through a great use of dialogue. It's really fresh and original, and also the circumstances surrounding our characters. But what did you think of these characters individually, Sonia?
Well, they're each interesting in their own way,
Yeah,
Ray.
I thought so.
I mean, the main trio in particular have richly developed histories.
Yes.
I enjoyed the roguish qualities of Sentaro most. He's a charismatic character.
Yes, me too. I loved how he would readily get into fights to protect his friends, but it was quite, a realistic portrayal too, because often he would emerge with his fair share of bruises. I also liked how they didn't let Kaoru's character feel too sorry for himself. They didn't really dwell on that and his emotions, which many animes I feel fall victim to. Linking these two, we have Ritsuko as friend, colleague, and later on a love interest. Who is a likable character, though I would have liked more detail about her ambition, what drives her, so yeah.
Yeah, but I think the relationships did seem quite genuine, didn't seem forced. I also thought the small village they were part of was believable. Through this window was a town full of life and detail.
Yes, I agree that the clothing, the architecture, and the vehicles, they all seemed accurate to the period. For me, it was an interesting glimpse into how the Western influence was filtering into Japan through music, even though jazz had been present in Japan since the 1920s. Now, I did a little digging, and I'm not sure if this was intentional, though given who the composer is, I think it was. There are some similarities between the main character Kaoru and the real-life well-known jazz pianist Yosuke Yamashita. Now, for those of you who don't know, he was actually a pioneer of avant-garde and free jazz from the 1960s. So I reckon if I dig a little deeper, there'll probably be, similarities between other characters and other musicians of the time.
Right.
But what did you... Just give us your verdict overall, Sonia. I'm really curious.
Well, look, obviously the music is this series' biggest compliment.
Yes.
The sweet rhythmic tunes underlying the scenes and the jam sessions in the basement of the record store are excellent. That said, if I wanted to watch a drama, honestly, I'd probably just watch something live action.
Okay.
Obviously, this genre of anime, it does have an audience. It's certainly quite interesting, and it's usually very well received.
It is, yes.
But when it comes down to it, it's just not how I like my udon. So
Fair enough.
I'm going to have to give it a berry.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I can relate to that. I can see where you're coming from. Each episode is actually named after a well-known jazz tune. I thought that was a nice touch.
Sure, yeah.
And look, as you said, there's plenty of toe-tapping goodness. It's seriously energizing stuff. And that's because the composer is Yoko Kanno. Now, some of you might remember that he's, or know that he's from Ghost in the Shell. And he's very well respected amongst the anime community. And he's also teamed up with the director, Shinichiro Watanabe, on two other occasions, Macross Plus and Cowboy Bebop, two of my faves. The animation and art direction by Shinichiro is very good. It's not boundary breaking, but then for this particular story it doesn't have to be. It's not required. But overall the story itself falls a little short of being compelling. While I admire how well this drama has been written and directed, I think that over time it's going to be largely forgettable, and that's why it only just creeps over the line as a borrow from me. And I'm really only giving it a borrow based on what our viewers might enjoy as well. I think in particular some of our female viewers, because this is, it's a change of pace, this genre, and it is done well. And look, that's why I was quite surprised that you gave it a berry, Sonia, to be honest.
I seriously don't know how she does this every week.
Whoa! You! Evil Al!